Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Listen, everyone keeps saying XRP has no yield, no staking, and no DeFi. Remember? But that era is over. XRP is officially becoming a yield generating capital asset. And the numbers behind it are insane. Today, we're breaking down the biggest shift in XRP's history. The moment XRP finally becomes a yield bearing capital asset with institutional rails, new stablecoin liquidity, and a real DeFi stack behind it. I could not be more excited to share my guy's article today. It was very fascinating. Can't wait to share that with you guys. This is a new day. Bitcoin was just what this morning, 92,000, and it's 82,000, 89,000 now. It's cray, freaking cray in the streets. It's just cray, cray. But yeah, I'm excited about sharing this article. I'm going to go over pretty much word for word. Look, it's an important moment. It's a great write up by my friend, by my dude, Mickey B. Fresh. We can go over that article. So this live stream was inspired by that article today. Yeah, and tomorrow's live stream. Mm-hmm. I got a new one for you. That's going to be a really, really good one. The DeFi stack on Flare Networks deepens. Really excited about that. What's going on, Matt LaRoche? How are you, bro? Appreciate you checking in, sir. ROI library, 81K. What's up, bro? Appreciate you checking in. Happy freaking Friday. Yeah, it is Friday. To each and every one of you. Life is good. We're early adopters in this new asset class that is called the digital asset space. I did a post earlier today. You should check it out on X about the ties between Yoshitaka Katao and SBI and Ripple. You should check that out at crypto underscore CEEJ. You want to check that out? What's going on, Pookie Pookie? Appreciate you checking in, sir. Life is good. Again, happy Friday to each and every one of you. I'm going to go over this article word for word. My guy, Mickey B. Fresh, did an article on X today, and I thought it was awesome. I wanted to share with you guys. So just kind of get at the bigger picture where we are. And I thought about this. It's so funny how things work out because I was just thinking about uh, the prime minister was the finance minister in Japan meeting with Secretary Scott Bessent. And the fact that Yoshitaka Katao is there, that had me thinking about that all day. Like, I mean, I get it. SBI is it's a financial conglomerate, but the finance minister and Secretary Bessent and Yoshitaka Katao is there, right? Remember, Crypto Eddie shared the pictures. He was there and he had a conversation with Scott Bessent. And it just, for some reason, it just hit me today that why is that? How is that? Why is that? I was doing some research on kind of like Evernorth and the stack that Ripple is, putting together because they just kind of mentioned they talked about their four acquisitions lately with Rail and Ripple, whatever Hidden Road now called Ripple Prime and all, the two other ones, and got me thinking about the BNY as the, custody on the RLUSD. And so, next thing you know, I'm thinking about, Yoshitaka Katao, and this whole Scott Besson thing. I'm like, what? And so it all that post on X came from, I'm watching this YouTube video from a financial lady, and, she's, financial lady and who holds Bitcoin and XRP, and she's talking about the Japan yen carry trade, how it's now in the reverse mode, and how XRP could tie into that. And actually, no, I find the Mickey B. Fresh article, but in any case, check that post out on X. It's at crypto underscore CEEJ. It's very, very interesting video, and I posted about it. I did stake some XRP. Pookie Pookie. I did indeed. Yes, sir. I was on that white list. So whatever wait list, I guess. So yeah, I did. I did indeed. I did indeed. How about you? Did you get the chance to get some stXRP or stake your FXRP? So yeah, and anyways, that's kind of my inspiration for today's video. Mickey B. Fresh article. So let's get into this article. Uh, I'm gonna I'm gonna play whenever there's video, but I'm not gonna play the sound because there's music and I think I get like a copyright, which is it's just strange. into itself. But Mickey B. Fresh, I hope you're doing well, bro. Let's connect. I know we talked about connecting, but let's get together, bro. Let's get together if you're listening. All right, here it is. No, that's not it. Here it is here. No, that's not it either. Where am I doing? It's right here. Here it is right here from Mickey B. Fresh, The Great Awakening. XRP's Great Awakening. XRPFi transforming XRP into a capital asset for DeFi and beyond. Now, I'm going to play this video. I'm not going to play the sound, but this dude's graphics are, I don't know how he does it. He got some good editing people. All right, let me play this from the beginning. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, just look at this. Deep AI plus DeFi versus TradFi, something like that. DeFi versus TradFi, the new economy, DeFi and stablecoins, open, permissionless, fast, legacy finance, controlled, regulated, slow. DeFi and stablecoins, open, permissionless, and fast. Stablecoins fuel the future, fuel the on-chain economy. All right, again, I'm not going to play the sound because I tried that last time and I got a copyright. This video was crazy. uh, oh, that's pretty good. Hold on a second. Let me see something right here. Legacy finance control. Yeah, it's got that. DeFi is going to tear TradFi to pieces. XRP to FXRP to stXRP, from idle utility to crypto capital. I like it, bro. I like it. All right, so let me just go over here. XRP is no longer just a bridge currency for banks. It's evolving into a yield-bearing asset at the heart of DeFi. After years of being known primarily for fast payments, XRP is now finding new life in decentralized finance, where holders can earn on their XRP through staking and lending. Recent developments in the XRP ecosystem have unlocked opportunities for XRP to generate passive income, drawing parallels to how Ethereum's ETH became yield-bearing after staking. For an intermediate XRP holder, the landscape has shifted. Instead of simply holding and hoping for price appreciation, you can now deploy XRP into various protocols to earn yield. Dormant capital is awakening. Just in the past year, we've seen Flare Networks integration, a smart contract platform built for Flare Networks, enabling XRP to participate in DeFi via F assets, trustless wrapping of XRP into FXRP for those in the back. This brings full Ethereum-like capabilities to XRP holders. Project Firelight, a new restaking protocol on Flare that lets XRP be staked to secure DeFi services. Minting stXRP, which is a staked XRP token, and earning 4 to 7% APY in organic yield. Those are kind of like the guesstimate numbers. It's like Lido's stETH, but for XRP, unlocking liquidity while earning. The Ripple dollar stablecoin, Ripple's regulated US dollar stablecoin issued on the XRPL and Ethereum, now with over $1.2 billion in circulation, is providing deep liquidity and a fiat on-chain link for XRP markets used heavily in lending and liquidity pools. Then there's the institutional DeFi platform. The rise of Sentora, an institutional DeFi platform backed by Ripple that's channeling big money into XRP-related DeFi strategies. Think of it as the bridge for hedge funds and companies to safely earn yield on XRP and the Ripple dollar stablecoin. Let's see this chart. XRP's Great Awakening as a capital asset to DeFi. Nice. Unleashing the sleeping giants, dormant capital. Why XRP needed a DeFi makeover. XRP has long been valued for its transaction speed and low fees. Excellent for payment. But these features alone didn't offer holders much beyond speculative value. Unlike proof of stake coins, ETH, Cardano, or DeFi-centric tokens, XRP didn't natively support staking or yield farming on its own ledger. In traditional finance terms, XRP was like a non-dividend paying stock or a zero coupon bond. You hold it purely hoping the price will go up. Meanwhile, by 2020 to 21, the crypto world saw a yield revolution. Platforms like Ethereum enabled lending, DEX liquidity provisions, and staking, turning assets into income producers. Stable coins could earn 5 to 10% in lending protocols. ETH staking yields were 4 to 5%. Liquidity providers on Uniswap earned trading fees. Crypto investors grew to expect that their assets should work for them. XRP, despite its top 5 market cap status, wasn't part of that party. Its design, no native smart contracts, consensus via validators without staking rewards, left it on the sidelines of DeFi. The cost of this exclusion became clear. Hundreds of millions of XRP sat idle on exchanges or in wallets, doing nothing when they could have been providing liquidity or collateral in DeFi. The XRP community often watched enviously as other communities discussed locking tokens and protocols to earn interest or governance tokens. The XRP community often watched enviously as other communities discuss locking tokens and protocols to earn interest or governance tokens. Hold on one second. You did? 2 big barriers needed overcoming: smart contracts and composability. The XRP ledger is fast and secure, but not Turing complete, meaning you can't easily run complex DeFi logic on it. No Uniswap AMMs or Aave loans natively on the XRPL. This limited on-ledger DeFi innovation, though the XRPL did introduce a native DEX and escrows, its capabilities are now narrower. Yield infrastructure. To generate yield, XRP needed an ecosystem of lending markets, staking mechanisms, and so forth, which were absent. Projects like Ripple's Codius never fully materialized. Enter Flare Network. Flare is a separate blockchain that launched with a specific aim to bring smart contracts to assets like XRP and others like Bitcoin and Doge that don't have them. Flare's ingenious FSS system allows XRP to be trustlessly represented on Flare as FXRP. This FXRP acts like an ERC20 version of XRP, unlocking access to the rich world of Ethereum-compatible DeFi. With FXRP, suddenly XRP could be deposited into Flare smart contracts, opening the door to AMMs, lending, NFTs, you name it. Absolutely genius stuff there. That is awesome. Genius. So at the same time, the regulatory environment started to clarify. By late 2023 and 24, XRP's legal status improved. The resolution of Ripple's SEC case in mid-2023 provided much needed clarity, in jurisdictions like the UAE, UK, and EU were establishing frameworks for compliant crypto usage. Institutions that were previously wary of touching crypto beyond Bitcoin and ETH started exploring other large caps like XRP, provided there were enterprise-grade products to do so. Ripple, always focused on institutions, saw the opportunity to extend XRP's utility into the burgeoning on-chain finance world, but in a compliant way. That's the thing that I have been talking about for a minute there. Let me welcome some more people into the stream. Nice history lesson there for sure. Alex Sheets in the building. What's going on, bro? Mark. Mark. Is that Mark? Mark, what's up, Mark? How are you, bro? Hey, CJ. We have been needing DeFi for so long. Indeed, we have, my friend. Indeed, we have for so long. For so long. You know? Keyless checked in. What's going on, Keyless? The lady of crypto was here. Nice, nice write up by my guy, Mickey P. Fresh. For sure. Happy Friday to each and every one of you guys. Do me a favor, hit that like button and comment in the chat if you will. And if you're watching this on replay in the comments, did you get a chance to comment stXRP if you got some? If you got some stXRP, let me know here live in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, please comment stXRP. I really like to see what the participation was like. I know we hit that cap real quick, but that could have been, some partial institutions there. So I want to know what regular folks like you and I. Yes, sir. It has been a minute, my guy. Mark Phillips says it's been a minute. Alex, you said I'm scared to do something with my XRP bag. I'm like, what if some crap happens and I lose my coins? Yeah, I hear you, my friend. I did a live stream the other day, and it still applies even with the launch of Firelight, right? You still don't chase the game, right? You don't chase the game. You let the game come to you. There doesn't have to be an all or nothing type deal, right? Firelight launch is awesome. Did that mean I have to put 110% of my XRP that I got in cold storage on Firelight or take it to Flare and mint FXRP and didn't? No, no, doesn't mean that at all, right? Doesn't mean that at all. This things are new, right? Don't want to chase the game. I tell people that all the time. Don't want to chase the game. This thing's going to be around for a minute, right? It's going to be around for a minute. What's wrong with 1%, 0.5%, 2%, 5%? What's wrong with that? Nothing's wrong with that, right? You don't want to chase the game, then let the game come to you. Let this Firelight thing prove itself out. Um, you know, I think it's a genius project for sure, for sure. And that with this mission of this DeFi cover, I think is massively important for those of us to participate, right? I said in the live stream yesterday, the day before, it's important for us to do our part to make the strong stronger. And you remember, Firelight is, they're not messing with, mom and pa lending protocol, right? They're only dealing with the blue chippers, the OGs like Aave, right? And we want Aave to win. We want Aave to be able to say that they offer DeFi cover. We want that thing to get that already has hundreds of billions to get to 1 trillion, right? Because remember, we can go there without nepotism. We can go there without an interview. We can go there without accredited investor status, right? So we want projects like Aave to get stronger, right? And so thank God XRP is and XRP holders have a significant part or can play a significant part in making the strong stronger and get rewarded for doing that. It doesn't mean that it's risk free, but you can get rewarded for doing that. And I think that is, I think it's important to understand that this is an opportunity that we have to make the strong stronger. Really, really important. So yeah, I get it. People don't want to make sure they don't lose their stuff, so I get it for sure. Matt LaRoche, I think the Firelight institutional funnel into FXRP hasn't really begun yet. Nope, it hasn't. You're right about that. In phase one, I think is probably be more retail. When FS has no minting cap, I think Firelight phase two will kick in. Yeah. So yeah, they just reached a cap for sure. I mean, they did it, and they did it pretty quick. Phase two is going to be really, really interesting, I think, for institutions. I'm not sure if they're concerned about points, right? Like phase one. Is that Lonzo Turner? What's going on, Lonzo? How are you, bro? Appreciate you checking in. All right, let's get back to this article for sure. Share sound. All right, so thus the stage was set for XRP. So wait a minute, let me read it. Ripple, which is always focused on institutions, saw the opportunity to extend XRP's utility into this burgeoning on-chain finance world, but in a compliant way. Thus, the stage was set for XRP's DeFi makeover. The tech was coming online via Flare and others, and the demand for yield from retail and institution was steadily rising. It was time to wake the sleeping giant. All that dormant XRP liquidity and put it to work. This is pretty sweet graphics there. Flare FXRP and bringing XRP on chain. The linchpin of XRP's transformation is Flare Network. If you're not familiar, Flare is a blockchain that functions as a sort of a layer 1.5, not exactly layer 1 like Ethereum in adoption yet, but not L2 either. It's its own network with a focus on interoperability. Flare's genius is the F-asset protocol. And here's how that works. Block XRP on the XRPL. You send your XRP to a special address controlled by Flare's F-asset smart contracts via an agent system. This XRP is locked in escrow on the XRP ledger. You then mint FXRP on Flare. Once the XRP lock is confirmed, the Flare network mints an equivalent amount of FXRP on Flare and delivers it to you. FXRP is an asset on Flare that is pegged, that is one-to-one pegged to XRP's value. So the agent collateral, the process involves agents, participants who put up collateral, let's do it that way, in FLR tokens and stablecoins to guarantee the peg. If FXRP ever loses peg or an agent misbehaves, their collateral can be slashed to compensate. This incentivizes the network to maintain the peg and security. Obviously, you can redeem back to XRP at any time. You or anyone else with FXRP can redeem back the FXRP. The FXRP is burned on Flare, and the equivalent XRP is released from escrow back to the specialized XRPL address. It's a nice way of explaining that, Mickey. The result, XRP is now two places at once. It's still on the XRPL, in parentheses here, locked, but there. And a mirror, quote unquote, of it, which is FXRP, is living on Flare. While on Flare, FXRP can interact with smart contracts just like Ethereum, or just like any Ethereum token. It's important to note this system is decentralized. It doesn't rely on a single custodian or issuer. It's more akin to how DAI stablecoins works with collateral and agents. And by the way, DAI's got a new makeup and tokenomics as well. I forget what they call themselves now. The maker thing is something else called now. New stablecoins and everything. So Flare also provides other goodies like a robust Oracle system, the FTSO for pricing, which is crucial for DeFi and bridges to other networks. But for FXRP, the headline is Flare gave us the ability to use XRP and DeFi protocols safely and trustlessly. Almost immediately after Flare's FXRP went live, it was trialed on Flare's Canary Network Songbird first, in parentheses. We saw DeFi application integrated. So almost immediately after Flare's FXRP went live, we saw DeFi apps integrated. Examples by mid-2025 at Flare-based DEX, like SparkDEX, BlazeSwap, or Gnosis, allowed FXRP trading. A Flare lending protocol, Kinetic, let people borrow against FXRP. Yield aggregators accepted FXRP. Flare's own metrics showed a jump from virtually $0 to over 100 million in TVL, largely driven by FXRP liquidity entering the system. This was the first wave of XRP DeFi, essentially just making XRP usable on another chain. So a quick comparison to understand this impact. Imagine if Bitcoin could suddenly be used on Ethereum DeFi without needing a centralized wrapped BTC custodian. That's analogous to what FXRP did for XRP. It unlocked the asset for composability. Flare lets you put your XRP to work. Instead of it sitting in your wallet, you could, for instance, convert to FXRP and provide liquidity on Flare's version of Uniswap to earn fees, or lend out FXRP on a platform to earn interest. There are, of course, risks like smart contract risk, peg risk, though the system is robustly designed as per audits and the over collateralization, but the opportunities were never there before at all, which is key. And again, we always want to practice ergodicity, right? It's always important, right? You never want to put yourself in a position where it's things are unrecoverable, right? You don't want to do that. That's why I mentioned don't chase the game. You let the game come to you. But remember, the biggest risk at all in any form of finance is not taking any risk, right? So one concrete example says, Mickey, Flare launched an incentivized liquidity mining program with a stablecoin, USDT 0, which is a bridge tether, where FXRP was paired with this stablecoin in an AMM, and liquidity providers earn extra RFLR rewards Flare. Many XRP holders jumped in, and Flare's network saw TVL balloon from 37 million to 120 million in a couple of weeks, and is currently over 200 million. This is not only validated demand. XRP holders wanted to use your XRP in DeFi, given the chance, but also distributed FXRP widely. So in summary, Flare set the foundation by providing the rails for XRP to move into the fast lane of DeFi. But rails alone aren't enough. You need vehicles on the rails. That's where protocols like Firelight and others that are coming, by the way, that's where protocols like Firelight come in, which we'll discuss next. This is a great graph. All right, let me say hey to some of the people on the stream. What's going on, Finn? My friend, how are you? I don't know why this shows up with these different. Anyway, appreciate you being here, my guy. Clyde Jr. checked in. What's going on, bro? Yeah, so listen, this is a really, really excellent write-up by Mickey B. Fresh. Guys, do me a favor and hit that like button if you didn't get a chance to do so on the way in. No worries. Just collapse chat real quick. Go smash the like. And then come back and hang out with the Crypto Siege family. It's a great, really, really good job. And this write-up by Mickey B. Fresh. So Firelight turning XRP into a yield-generating engine. If Flare made XRPFi or XRP DeFi compatible, Firelight makes XRP yield-bearing. Firelight, which was developed by the team at Sentora in collaboration with Flare, is essentially a liquid staking and restaking protocol for XRP. It's often compared to Ethereum's eigenlayer, which does restaking, or Lido, which issues liquid stake tokens, but tuned to XRP's scenario. Firelight addresses a unique opportunity. XRP is a large cap crypto with zero yield. It's premium fuel sitting unused. At the same time, many new DeFi services need liquidity or collateral to function. For example, a lending protocol safety fund or an insurance protocol's capital pool. Firelight acts as an intermediary. It takes XRP via the FXRP on Flare and uses it to collateralize or secure those services, what they call economically secured services, or ESS. In return, those protocols pay a reward, sort of like an insurance premium or interest, which becomes yield for the XRP stakers. The mechanism works like this. You stake your FXRP into Firelight smart contract vault. The first one is called the launch vault. That vault in turn deploys the FXRP into one or multiple DeFi services that need it. Right? Initially, possibly a lending platform's insurance module, etc. Firelight specifics on its launch were still under wraps as to which services. I mean, remember, they're going to be talking about some partnerships here in the coming days. Hi. So as soon as you stake, Firelight mints stXRP, a liquid token representing your staked XRP, one-to-one backed. stXRP is freely transferable and can be used in Flare's DeFi ecosystem. Over time, as the vaults earn rewards from those services, the value of the assets backing stXRP grows, or new reward tokens are accrued for stakers. Firelight may distribute yield in the forms of the same asset. In parentheses, it says here, increasing your stXRP redemption ratio, or separate rewards tokens, i.e., you periodically claim Ripple Dollar or FLR as yield. The exact mechanics are to be determined at launch. So it's interesting. Crucially, if you want to unstake, you can return that stXRP to the vault and get back your FXRP plus any accumulated yield. There might be a cooldown or a queue to safely unwind from the services, but ultimately you can convert FXRP back to XRP on the XRPL, and you have completely exited the vault. And I think the cooldown was 14 days. I thought it was 14. Pretty standard for typical kind of staking type deals, 14 to 21 days. I know in the Cosmos SDK ecosystem is 21 days. In the what is the other one? Starts with a P. I can't remember the name of it now. Anyway, there's another one that was like 14 days as well that I was staking. Can't remember it now. So this setup means XRP finally has a staking yield, not for network consensus, but for DeFi participation. As noted earlier, projected yields are in the mid-single digit percentages, somewhere around the 4 to 7% APY range to start, anchored in real usage fees that could rise or fall based on demand for state capital. But importantly, it's not coming from inflationary issuance of XRP. XRP supply is fixed. There's no protocol inflation. This is a lot of stuff that goes on in the Ethereum and other kind of proof of stake world. Okay. It's coming from other protocols paying for the service, right? So like for security, for example, or insurance that Firelight provides. And we all know that, initially this is, they're looking to do, not initially, but the end game is DeFi cover, which is a form of insurance. So for context, Ethereum staking yields started around 4% and have hovered at around 5% after, after the merge. So if XRP's staking yield via Firelight is similar, it immediately puts XRP in a more attractive light for investors who compare yields across assets. A big fund might think we can hold XRP for cross-border utility and market upside, and now we can also earn 5% on it per annum by staking. That's comparable to ETH's yield, but on an asset with different risk drivers. It diversifies their strategies. That's why I believe personally that Firelight is going to be absolutely massive. And I believe institutions and especially big crypto protocols are going to want Firelight to win. So now let's talk stXRP in action. Once you have stXRP, staked XRP, you can plug it into other Flare DeFi apps. For example, provide stXRP as collateral on a lending platform to borrow Ripple dollars. So you're earning on XRP and you got a loan to play with if you want to borrow something. You can just lend it, right? And not have to borrow. Essentially doubling capital use. Or you use stXRP in a liquidity pool with a stablecoin to earn trading fees. The composability of stXRP means XRP holders don't sacrifice liquidity to earn yield, which was a major friction point in traditional staking. Big deal. So he's talking about the points here as well. Firelight also introduces Firelight points. They're not tradable. It's like reputation tokens that accrue to stakers. It's really like, to me, it's just a representation of the amount that you have staked, really. These points may give boost or governance weight in Firelight's future. It's similar to how some protocols reward long-term participants with, say, a boost in rewards or an airdrop later. So early and consistent stakers of XRP might reap extra benefits down the line. One more incentive to get involved sooner. Right? Measured risk, right? Don't forget, don't chase the game, let the game come to you. So on the risk side, by staking in the Firelight, XRP holders do take on smart contract risk and the risk of whatever services their capital is securing. The Firelight team has emphasized minimizing this through risk isolation. Each vault only ties to specific services to avoid contagion. So the launch vault might only handle relatively safe, broad use, like an Aave safety module. Future specialized vaults can tackle riskier or more niche strategies, and users can choose if they want to participate. The expected outcome is that the base yields are fairly safe and stable, whereas adventurous vaults might offer higher yields for higher risk, and institutions or conservative holders can simply avoid those. Right. And I like that. You're going to get to choose your risk model, which I really like. And in fact, Firelight is flipping the script for XRP. Instead of just being a token for use for transactions, it's now a token you lock to earn yield and strengthen the network. The XRP community has never had staking before. This is a cultural shift too. People will start talking about what percentage of XRP is staked, similar to how we do for Cardano or ETH, right? Talk about that with FLR a lot as well. Early indicators from Songbird tests and community interests suggest that a meaningful chunk of supply will get staked if yields are attractive and perceived risk is low. In Songbird's trial, they capped at 2 million XRP, and it filled almost immediately. On mainnet, we could easily see hundreds of millions of XRP migrate to Flare, Slant, Firelight over the first year. So we already know it's what, 64 something, 64 million FXRP have been minted, million. So from a macro view, this reduces circulating supply, which is bullish for price as supply available on exchange drops, and increases XRP's stickiness. Holders have more incentive to hold long-term for yield and price rather than flipping short-term. It's essentially capital asset FIs XRP in that way. Say owning a rental property yields rent, XRP can generate rent now. So very, very good. Right up there from Mickey B. Fresh for sure. Very, very good. I want to share that with you guys. I'm going to leave the link to this for you guys to read this article as well. I think that it is nicely done. Let me do this. Very, very nice job. Matt LaRoche says, when FS at 70 million cap made, do we go unlimited after that? I don't know where it is now. It's 60 something million. But wait till we do get to that unlimited. And, you know, they're doing these in stages or phases, probably stages. But wait, what happens when it goes unlimited in the institutions, right? start to really get into it. I think that it's going to be like 100 million before they do that. Rick Cisneros, what's up, bro? CJ, even more genius is the protocol managed wallets that will bring so many other tokens to Flare Network, making it game changing in DeFi yield for those tokens which have not yield, which don't have yield yet, like Stellar Lumens and Doge and Bitcoin just to get started. I mean, it's going to be a big deal. Matt LaRoche, I don't know if XLM is going to be next, but I feel like it is. I feel like XLM is going to be next in this F asset thing. I don't think it's going to be Bitcoin. I don't think it's going to be Bitcoin. Did that link work? I don't see that link. Oh, there it is. Peter Summers, what's up, brother? I was thinking that the staked XRP used in Kinetic would count twice on the chain's TVL. Twice on the chain's TVL. Which chain? It does not. It does not seem to be showing on DeFi Lima yet. Which chain are you talking? The XRPL, Peter? Guys, do me a favor and hit that like button. That would be really cool. And if you happen to be in that 55% or so that are hanging out, listening to, and watching the Crypto Siege, do me a favor. If you've been enjoying those hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. We got a mad goal to get to 10,000 subs in the month of December. We're just a few hundred away. Will you help us out and do your part by hitting that subscribe button? I know we can get there together. On Flare? Is this Peter? Yeah, and you gotta give DeFi Llama, I think, some time to catch up with metrics. Yeah, you want to give DeFi Llama some time. So, but yeah, this article is just really, really nicely done. I don't I don't want to bore you guys to death with my reading, but definitely check out the article. It's really, really good. Really, really good. Just nice stuff. Talking about the Ripple dollar here later as well, further on in the reading, but it's really, really good. Let me read this last part here. From a macro view, this reduces why is that doing that? This reduces the circulating supply and increases XRP stickiness. It essentially capital asset buys XRP in that way. Say owning a rental property yields rent, XRP can generate rent now. To visualize Firelight's impact, imagine 5% of all XRP supply gets staked in Firelight within a year. That's roughly 2.5 billion XRP. 2.5 billion out of 50 billion locked earning yield. At say 50 cents per XRP, that's 1.25 billion worth of XRP, providing economic security to DeFi. It would make XRP one of the top assets by staked value in the multi-chain DeFi world. And it would be providing tangible support to a range of protocols, maybe securing tens of billions in other assets value. Those protocols in turn can grow safely, which feeds the whole ecosystem. It's a powerful, positive feedback loop. And that's what I was saying in the live stream yesterday and the day before, right? XRP holders get to play a major role. Well, thank you for the sub, Kirsty. I appreciate that, my friend. XRP holders get to play a major role in making the strong stronger. And I think that is absolutely, powerful, positive feedback loop is a good way of putting it. We all want Aave to get stronger. We all wanted to get stronger. It's already, in terms of TVL and all that, it's smashing TradFi in a lot of ways. But we want the strong to get stronger, right? We don't want to have to depend on JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs and those other dudes, Citi. We don't want that, right? We want to be able to have a DeFi ecosystem that is second to none, where in which it provides a level playing field for everyone to participate, where your assets are regarded as valuable. Again, without accredited investor and credit scores, right? Without any form of nepotism. You just go there and you lend or you borrow if you don't want to borrow, right? And so I absolutely love that, right? And being able to take your stXRP on Kinetic and you can lend, just be a lender. There's power in that. Or if you'd like, you can borrow and learn the lend and borrow model and how it works, right? So, and let us not forget that Enosis Loans is offering this, will be offering on Flare, the ability to take your asset, valuable asset, and mint a stable coin. It's different than the lending and borrowing thing. It's a little different. And lending and borrowing, the borrowability or capability is dependent upon how many people are lending, right? How big this thing is. How big is Kinetic? How big is Aave? But when you're minting, when you're lending and then you're minting a stable coin, that's a different animal, right? It's not based on how big a platform is. So different dynamics, right? The collateralized debt positions are a little different than lending and borrowing. But in any case, assets that you hold that you don't have to, again, you can participate and own these assets yourself instead of the dirty, nasty fiat that has been devalued and is now slowly becoming not as valuable. Slowly, not just the devaluing, not just that, right? We could talk about its history and how there's still 56 to 66% of trade still in the dollars. We can talk that. But what's the purchasing power? What's the purchasing power of that said dollar? Right. And so we always got to factor that. But in this new financial system, we got new assets that we can access. Right. Right. We can get these assets, right, in a level playing field manner. Right. In other words, we don't have to know someone to get these assets. We don't have to be an accredited investor or get in some early thing. We don't have to do any of that. Right. That's the level playing field. And again, XRP holders get to strengthen that model, right? I believe one has to think outside of just themselves and think about the bigger picture with your participation. I'm not telling you what to do with your money. I'm suggesting you think about the bigger picture. How has this digital asset space been treating you? Now, I tell people all the time, go to where your assets are treated best. I don't know if you've done some banking stuff and some challenges in that space. We don't have that here. We have our challenges, but it ain't that. It ain't about how you look or what's your name, or if you got some relatives that work at the bank. It ain't about that here, and that's a big win for us. And so again, we want to make the strong Aave stronger. We want to make the strong DeFi stronger, and we can all play our part in doing so, in doing that. So, but again, don't chase the game. Let the game come to you. All right, fam. I'm gonna hop off here. I appreciate you guys checking in. I wanted to bring this. Jr. Alcorta is here. What's up, brother? How are you? But I wanted to bring that to you guys just to kind of share that article from my guy Mickey B. Fresh. Is nicely done. There's the link. Here's that link there for you. Let me see if I still post it again. Yeah. So you guys can get that in the replay as well. Appreciate you guys checking in. Do me a favor, if you didn't hit that like button on the way in, please do so on the way out. That's one of the greatest ways to support the channel. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. Please don't forget, we're trying to get the 10,000 subs this month with your help. And like Kirsty did. Just subscribe to the channel. Appreciate that. I know we can get there. I know we can get there for sure. So I'm going to end this live stream like I do all of my live streams and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I'd ask you to consider, or perhaps ponder this idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.